I want to talk in this video about upward and downward arpeggios, simple up and down arpeggios, 4-note chords. We're going to start with the upward arpeggio, and I'd like you to rest your thumb on string 4, index on 3, middle on 2, annular on 1. You need to keep a nice relaxed and rounded position with the hand. The knuckles should be low enough that the fingers can do a Turando stroke, clearing the other strings. So with the hand in this position, we're going to let the thumb come off first. Now when the thumb comes off, it's important that you are not resisting, you're not tugging with the fingers to drag the thumb across. The fingers remain quite passive on the strings, and rather than tugging against fingers, you're resisting the weight of the arm. So thumb comes off, comes up against the index finger. The index finger is the next one to come off, just comes into the hand like that. The middle finger is the next one to come off. That can be a bit problematic. It's very often a bit tied to the annular finger. You may find it difficult to keep the annular finger in place on string 1 to start with, but it's important that you work at that and get that to remain in place. Then finally the annular finger comes off. That can be the most problematic one, the last one to come off, the annular finger, because when the annular comes off, the hand is completely unsupported, unless of course you put the thumb back on a lower string. The hand is going to be completely unsupported. It's possible that you're going to end up doing that if you're not careful, and your arpeggio will look something like this. You want to try and make sure that doesn't happen. Keep a very steady, secure right hand position, and make sure that the annular finger comes off like this. So just to recap on that then, this is starting with the fingers from a planted position, so all the fingers are in place, thumb comes off, index comes off, middle comes off. I relax the fingers as well as soon as they've played, annular comes off, and then we can plant them back and repeat it. That's from a planted position, and it's a useful technique to develop for rolling chords decoratively. If I was to play a chord sequence, for example, I could decoratively roll those chords. The other way to play is with the fingers planting in sequence. So we have the index finger, but not the other fingers resting on the strings. The thumb plays its 4th string note. The index plays, and as the index plays, the middle is placed on string 2. And the middle plays, and as the middle plays, the annular finger is placed on string 1. And finally the annular finger plays. So we have, see the fingers coming in sequence there. That is useful when we've got continuous arpeggio patterns. If I was to play this arpeggio over and over, it's going to sound a lot less choppy than if I was to plant all the fingers at the beginning of each one. That's very choppy because of course I dampen all the strings when I bring the fingers onto the strings. So that's useful in passages where we have kind of flowing arpeggios. In the downward arpeggio, the fingers will come in sequence. So in the downward arpeggio, we're going to start with the annular finger, so it's going to rest on the string. The annular plays, as the annular plays, the middle finger is brought into place. As the middle plays, the index finger is brought into place, and when the middle plays, index rather, plays, the thumb is there and the thumb plays last. You can have your thumb there from the start, if you like, for the downward arpeggio. So we don't start from the planted position when we do a downward arpeggio. Start, you have the thumb resting, annular. It'll come in sequence like that. I'm going to play a very short clip demonstrating upward and downward arpeggios in their various roles. In that clip you'll have noticed that I do something extra here. I do actually employ at one point appoggiando. In an arpeggio, a free stroke arpeggio texture like that, I may need to bring out certain notes, and in that clip you notice that I was bringing out the note on string 1 with the annular finger by doing an appoggiando stroke. Good little trick to get if you can, once you've mastered the basic up and down arpeggio. Okay, well I think that's about it.